Hi boys and girls, welcome to another episode of Learn a Skill with me, where each week you get the opportunity to learn a new skill with me. I am your host, Gerard Morris, and today we'll be making pancakes. We have Miss Peters again to show us how we'll be making pancakes.
Hi boys and girls, it's so good to be back with you all. Are you ready to make some delicious pancakes with me?
So Miss Peters, what are the items required to make pancakes?
To make pancakes is very easy. You would need 3/4 cups of milk, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, a teaspoon of cinnamon, a teaspoon of nutmeg, 2 tablespoons of sugar, granulated or brown is fine, 1 teaspoon of essence, 1 3/4 cup flour, 2 tablespoons of oil, and 1 egg. The equipment that you would need is 1 bowl, a whisk or a fork, and some sort of measuring device to make your pancake. I suggest a 1/3 or a 1/4 cup measure for that ideal size, but you can feel free to do a little bigger.
Alright Miss Peters, let's get started.
Okay, boys and girls, so it's time to make our pancakes. Remember, you to wash your hands, put on your apron or your hat. Remember to ask mommy or daddy to preheat the griddle or your tower or a skillet for you to make your pancakes. So to begin, we're going to mix our dry ingredients, our flour. Remember, we're using 1 3/4 cup of flour. Right? We're going to mix the sugar, 2 tablespoons of sugar. We're going to mix in our spices along with our baking powder, and we're just going to stir until combined. And this would be our dry mix, because when you're making pancakes, you make a dry mix and then a wet mix. Now I'm using a whisk, but you can also use a fork. All right. If you don't have a stainless steel bowl, a plastic bowl or a glass bowl would do just fine. Right? Once you have the mixture thoroughly combined and you're not seeing any of the ingredients looking like it's separated from the next, you then go on to mix your wet ingredients. Our wet ingredients will include 3/4 cups milk, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 2 tablespoons of oil, and 1 egg. Remember that you should break your egg separate just in case it's not good. So you want to break it one side, right? And you give it a small mix to make sure that it's easier to combine, and then you add it to your milk mixture and blend thoroughly. Like this. Now we are going to take the dry mix, make a little hole in the middle, and we are going to add our wet mix, and we are going to stir only until combined. Now remember, for your nice fluffy pancakes, you don't want to overmix, right? So be very gentle. Notice how I'm just moving around the perimeter of the bowl to just get it moistened. So you just want to stir until well combined, right? It's okay if you're seeing a few little flour lumps and you're seeing a little dry mix, but it shouldn't be too excessive, because trust me, those are what make fluffy pancakes and not bready, stiff pancakes. Remember the last time I taught you about gluten? Right, so we just want to stir just until combined. So your mixture should look like this, a little lumpy, looking like as though it's not going to be good, but trust and believe they are going to make the fluffiest pancakes you have ever had. So now that our batter is ready, we are going to prepare our surface by lightly greasing it and portioning our pancakes and have them cooked to perfection. Okay, boys and girls, now that we have our hot surface, remember I am using an electric griddle, but you can use your tower on your stovetop. You can use your griddle in the center of your stove, or you can use a frying pan, which is known as a skillet. One thing I forgot to show you is that you need a pancake turner just to lift. Yours could be a little broader, but that's fine, right? And you may need something to help you hold. Remember, for safety's sake, this is where you want your mom and dad to be close by to help you so that you do not get burned. All right, so to begin, we're going to put a little bit of oil on our skillet. Now notice the little bit I'm using, and then we're going to use a napkin. This is where mom and dad would come in to lightly grease the surface. And with our portioning, remember I told you about 1/3 cup, and we're going to portion and drop. You should hear that light sizzle and you know you are ready to go. So you're listening for that nice little sizzle. Allow it to settle. Do not overcrowd the surface because it will cause it to cool. Right, so how do you know when they are ready to turn? If you notice, you are getting some nice little bubbles on the surface, and once that begins, you know you're very close for time to turning, and then you'd see the edge change color, not necessarily get brown, but get a little translucent, and then we'll be ready to turn. All right, so you notice down the edges are changing a bit. So we're going to turn in a little bit. This one still has to have a little more bubbles on the surface. So you're waiting to see those bubbles appear, and then you know you are ready to flip. To flip, it's just a nice sharp movement under your pancake, and in one wrist movement, you turn to the left or to the right, whichever way feels comfortable for you. I will demonstrate that now. So you're going close, you're seeing the bubbles there on the surface, boys and girls. You're going straight under, and then you flip. All right, so notice I was a little too strong, so mine's broke, but that's okay. The first two pancakes always gives the most trouble, but they are the most delicious. So you just wipe and make sure you're ready to go again, and we flip again. So we'll try that one more time. Notice the bubbles on the surface. Again, there we go. Second time's the charm. All right, so we allow it to cook. Notice that it will start to raise a little and become nice and fluffy, and then you would take them off. So what can you serve pancakes with? That's a very good question. These can be served with your favorite like bacon and eggs. Pancake syrup, you can put a little bit of butter on it, and to make it healthy, you can add a little fruit. So you can slice some bananas, we have mangoes in season right now, or even a bit of pawpaw, and you drizzle your syrup, not too much, and you can enjoy. Notice that the pancakes are rising a little more, and how do you know if they're ready? When you touch them, they're supposed to spring back and they shouldn't sink in the middle. So if yours is sinking, it needs a minute or two again. All right. If not, right, notice that the color is the same on the both sides and they are ready for action. So we're going to take them off and put them on our plate and get ready for syrup. So you just continue this until all your pancakes are cooked. And to keep them warm, mommy can put the oven on low so the entire batch can make and the family can enjoy them together. So remember, some of the secrets: a lightly oiled surface, portioning should be right so they cook nice and even, and enjoy your pancakes.
Miss Peters, these pancakes look really delicious.
Thank you.
Let's review the steps.
Sure. So remember, to make your pancakes, we have two mixes, a dry mix and a wet mix. We're going to mix together our flour, our salt, our sugar, and the spices. And then we're going to make the wet mix, which is the milk, the oil, the eggs, and the vanilla. Then we're going to stir until just combined, and we're going to portion and cook on our hot skillet. If you don't have a skillet, you can use a griddle like you would see me use, or I did, or you can use your tower. Yes, you can.
So, Ms. Peters, what are some of the careers kids can get into utilizing these skills?
Of course, to utilize these skills, kids can become personal chefs to celebrities. You can have your own business, being a breakfast cook and preparing breakfast, or you can even join the cruise ship and become a cook. The choices are endless.
So, boys and girls, these are the many careers you can get into utilizing these skills learned here today. So remember, boys and girls, to ask mom or dad to send a photo or video to us via our social media platforms. Also, remember to like, share and subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you will not miss another episode of Learn a Skill with Me. I would like to thank Ms. Peters for showing us these skills today.
Thank you very much for having me. It was such a pleasure to be with you guys.
And until next time on Learn a Skill with Me.
Bye.
Bye, boys and girls.